kicking us off with the Jaguars. They were pretty middle of the pack at most things in fantasy finish last year, except for running back where they finished third. What do we think of Blake Bortles with his easy start to the season?
Well, he had the fewest pass attempts in 3 years, but his interception rate came down, which is good. He raised his touchdown percentage, completion percentage, also had his highest career completion percentage at 60%. So, Blake Bortles is a streamer, and he's one that's likely to finish as a QB1 like he tends to always do after injuries and all that type of stuff, given his rushing upside and that type of thing. He was second in drop passes while he threw his receivers to ninth in separation. Not a fantastic deep ball thrower, but Moncrief added as well as Chark, who are deep ball catchers, should be a good thing for him. Career 6.3 yards per completion. 2 QBs have averaged 500 pass attempts since 2014. I don't know where I'm going here.
I have no idea where you're going here.
I've made this note before, though. Oh, sorry. 2 QBs have averaged 500 pass attempts since 2014 and amassed over 1,400 rushing yards. The other one is Russell Wilson, besides Blake Bortles.
Okay. So where do you have him ranked?
I think 15, 16, somewhere in there.
26.
Jesus.
I want to go higher.
Stop talking to me.
I want to go higher. It's
Nope,
just so
we're
much.
done. Sorry.
I know.
We're done.
He's literally wearing a Blake Bortles jersey right now.
16.
All right. Give us your thoughts, Dan. Just don't sit there.
Why do you hate Blake Bortles, Dan?
Yeah.
It's not that I don't hate Blake Bortles. I just
Bullshit. You ranked him 26. Why do you hate Blake Bortles?
I don't hate Blake Bortles.
Why do you hate Blake Bortles?
Hey. Let's make this.
He loses Allen Robinson. He has no real number one receiver. We like Marquise Lee. He had 12 drops last year. That's why I'm not going to get into the receivers.
Keelan Cole?
Who had the second most drops. I think he had 8.
D.D. Westbrook?
He flashed. But
Dante
he had
never mind. I can't get that one out. Seriously.
That's, yeah. I mean,
right. Well, since these two seem to not be able to get their thoughts together, Dean, what are you thinking of Blake Bortles?
Well, I've got Bortles ranked at 22nd myself. I'm not a huge fan. He does run well, better than people think. He rushed for a little over 300 yards last year, so there's some extra fantasy points and a couple of touchdowns in that.
So you have him kind of as a low end too. So you like him maybe as a value in superflex situations?
Yeah, superflex definitely, and he could stream and redraft. I mean, he'll put some points up on the board, but the Jags, they want to run first. It's obvious with Fournette. I'd want to run first if I were the Jags.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Blake Bortles, so I've got him at 18th. I've got him as a mid 2. There's definitely some upside there with the rushing, but I'm probably not taking him outside of maybe as a last round dart throw if it's a deeper league or quarterback really had a run. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're enjoying Hopper play with his little Bortles doll right now. Let's move on to Leonard Fournette, though, so we can stop the Blake Bortles crying. He's currently going as the 9th running back, 112 in ADP. Where do you think that's a good value for him? Should he be going higher or lower?
I think that's pretty good value for him. He had I don't think there's going to be any drop off for his 20.6 carries per game. Pre-injury, by the way, he was at 4.56 yards per carry. Post-injury, 3.21. So the only concern for me is health. He's dealt with ankle injuries in college and now in the NFL. So I do have some concern about that, even if he is playing injured, being able to keep up some efficiency. But I definitely think the volume is going to be there.
Yeah, with whatever Jacksonville wants to do, like we just mentioned before, I mean, they're run first, or lean on their defense, run the football a bunch. They added, all-pro guard Andrew Newman to help for the inside, which should
Andrew Norwell, I'm sorry, to add into the even better between the tackles running. And Fournette, pre-injury, 7 touchdowns in 6 games. So there's a lot of upside to him, and when he plays, it's just him. There's no real fear for TJ Yeldon or Corey Grant or anybody else there. He's my 5th. All right, Dean?
Yeah, I think Fournette's a good value at 9. That's where I've got him at. He's going to have opportunity. The defense only got better along with their offensive line.
So as the 9th running back or 9th overall player, are you saying?
9th running back.
Okay. I also have him as my 5 just because I think he looks, outside of missing time possibly, he's incredibly safe. I think he's going to get the workhorse role. Even should get some more uptick in pass catching, I think, with Ivory gone this year. Yeldon will take most of it, but he'll have slightly more than he had last year.
I mean, it's always been Fournette that's out there. So like, even if Yeldon gets some pass catching work, it's not going to take much away from Fournette.
No, it won't. So he's also my 5. I've got him slotted in just in front of Barkley. Do you think Yeldon could be worth a change of pace role or in a deeper league?
I think Yeldon is definitely worth a change of pace role in a deeper league, but the guy that I'm more interested in is Corey Grant. I think he's more dynamic. He proved that he can do it in the screen game last year, even if he just flashed it, but he also proved that he can do it as a runner. So they're pretty close to me as far as how I have them rated, but Corey Grant's more of an intriguing watch player for me, and the handcuff as opposed to TJ Yeldon.
Is he big enough to be a handcuff?
I think so. Is Yeldon big enough to be a handcuff?
Yes. Yeldon's pretty big.
So,
Dean or Thury, either one of you.
Somebody talk.
Somebody talk.
Yeah, Yeldon will be good in the deeper leagues. And he'll get a few carries, but like you guys have already said, Fournette's the guy. He'll have the opportunities.
Yeldon can't stay healthy either. He's got no 16-game seasons. Almost a 10-touch-a-game lock when healthy and without Ivory there, though. So
I don't think he was hurt last year. I thought he missed a few. He was inactive a few games at the start of the season. I thought that's what it was.
yeah. Well,
Dean, do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
I think he was inactive a couple times, but at the same time, when he hasn't been inactive, when he's been active beforehand, it's not like it's a one-season thing where he's missed time. So
True. And this is his 4th year, right? Last year of his rookie deal.
yeah.
yes.
Any interest in him dynasty-wise as a possible land candidate for next year?
I would definitely rather have Corey Grant dynasty.
All right, so we've got we have another new man crush for Hopper, Corey Grant.
I don't know that it's a man crush per se, but I like him more than
I think we
Yeldon.
know what Yeldon is, and just with the landscape of running backs right now, in terms of who needs RB1s, I don't think there's a spot for
Well,
him
I'm not
without
saying
competing.
I'm not saying as an RB1, but do you think he could maybe find a better role besides just being a handcuff to?
I mean, this
Fournette?
is a pretty good team to be on. If there wasn't Fournette there, I mean, I don't know what else.
Yeah, I mean, I
It
guess.
gets pretty meh.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go. You got to know.
No.
Sorry, I just don't have anybody off the top of my head where I'm like, okay, I want to see him here. Because I don't think he's going to be an every
We haven't even
down
played the
back anywhere.
season yet, so we have no clue what's gonna.
Still worth talking about some guys who are coming on expiring contracts.
I got you, bro.
All right. Well, since not a lot going on in the running game in terms of intrigue, let's go to the passing game where they got 4 possible names all fighting for the wide
Where there's
receiver 1
even
spot.
less going on for intrigue.
Oh shit.
So you got Marquise Lee, Dante Moncrief, Dede Westbrook, and Keelan Cole all fighting for the wide receiver 1 spot and trying to get enough volume to kind of scratch out fantasy relevance here. Who's your money on? Let's start with somebody besides Hopper this time. Dean, you go first.
I think Marquise Lee is the guy that will come out of all that. He had almost 100 targets last year, 96, 97, something like that. I think that Bortles has a decent rapport with him. He'll probably throw it to him, given the opportunity. But the other 3 guys, Westbrook, Moncrief, and Chark, they're all kind of a puddle. I don't know what's going to happen with those guys. Somebody will emerge as a 2, but I don't know who it'll be.
And the only one who's being drafted right now in ADP is of the rest is Westbrook, who's going in the 14th round. Moncrief, Cole, and Chark are not being drafted.
Okay. So Marquise Lee's got 1 full 16-game season. He's going to be safe. He had 7.4 targets per game last year to lead the team. He was on pace for 100 plus again. He's not exactly the reliable hands type, but he's got the volume to be the safest receiver on the team, and I think that he is safe. Nothing jumps out to me, though. He's just kind of that reliable wide receiver 3 type, kind of like in the same vein as a Cooper Kupp type of guy. Now, when you get into the others, Dante Moncrief has traditionally struggled. I think Dante Moncrief is great red zone threat, and I think he's probably the best red zone threat that this team has at this point. Him and in ASJ, but I think Moncrief's even better in the red zone than ASJ is. I don't know how good he'll be between the tackles, but I think if you're looking for touchdowns, Dante Moncrief's the guy to go with.
You mean between the 20s?
Yeah, between the 20s. And between the tackles. I don't know how he'll be between the tackles either. Now, if you're asking me about anybody else, my heart wants to say that Keelan Cole, but the numbers say that it's Dede Westbrook. Dede Westbrook is the one that after Marquise Lee and Allen Hurns got back, did not see his target rate fall off, 7.2 per game. So there was nothing that really jumped out other than that he flashed and his target rate stayed consistent. Keelan Cole seemed to build some rapport with Bortles as the season went on, but whenever the others got back, his target rate fell off of a cliff, and D.D. Westbrook's didn't. So, if you're asking me to put a dart throw on who the wide receiver 2 is, I would put it on D.D. Westbrook, but Marquise Lee to me is the safest guy here.
Yeah, I'm going Lee as the safest. I think Moncrief just because of the touchdowns, and I think Jacksonville is just with how good their defense is. Corey Grant's a great punt returner and kickoff returner in general. I think there may be chances in the red zone if they can't punch it in with Fournette. I'm with Hopper though. I like Cole and the fact that he has probably the most defined role as their slot receiver. Mm-hmm. Being that Lee plays mostly outside Westbrook as well. You got Moncrief. They're all going to be fighting with each other.
Yeah, I think Cole is at least different, and there's a UDFA there a lot along the lines of Keelan Cole that I think also fits different, and that's Alan Lazard.
Yeah. Who can be
if he can make the team.
If he can make the team, but Cole was a UDFA last year that came in as something different, and when you look at what these receivers are, Moncrief, Westbrook, Chark, they're all burners. Lazard isn't that. He's a big-bodied guy. So is Moncrief, but that's also intriguing to me, but...
Yeah, I mean,
it's Chark too.
It's a situation where they already have 5 receivers who are obviously going to make the team. The 4 previously mentioned plus Chark. So Lazard has to try to make it as a 6, which is not guaranteed.
You can do it on special teams, though. He'll be okay.
If they carry 6, not all teams carry 6 receivers. So it'll if he makes the team, which we'll get to when we do our cut down spectacular here at the end of the year.
About these receivers.
Yes, we have. But
gross.
Just don't. I'm not guaranteeing Lazard to make the team as all.
The way that I laid it out is exactly how I like it. Marquise Lee's the safest. Moncrief has got the most touchdown upside, so probably the most upside in general, but I think D.D. Westbrook is who I put my money on as a 2.
All right. ASJ. What do we think of him? Camp reports are good. He flashed last year. He's only 25 years old and is finally landing on a team that actually historically has had a little bit of tight end usage with Mercedes Lewis, who's already on the back end of his career. Do you think he's a type of player who might be able to flash as a kind of a dart throw?
He'll flash, but he's not a guy that I necessarily want. Lewis only had 48 targets last year. They didn't really throw or utilize the tight end. And you've got a glut of wide receivers that you're going to get targets to on a team that's going to be run first. So I'm not necessarily intrigued or interested as opposed to some other late round draft guys.
I'm in the same boat. He fell off pretty hard last year after he came back from his suspension. Had the 4 or 5 nice game stretch, and then he battled to see any sort of relevancy. I think its only real relevancy is going to be in 2 tight end leagues or in really deep 16 plus in deep rosters.
So he's currently going as a 16 tight end off the board. You don't even like him at that price?
He's my 25 right now. I just don't see the volume there.
Yeah, there's other guys that I would take over that. Ebron is one of them. Either Howard or Braid are both there.
Well, we'll get to the Colts here in a little bit here. Dean, what do you think of ASJ?
I've got him as my 17th tight end off the board, but that's pretty decent value in my opinion at 16. I think he'll show up pretty well at times. Like you said, he'll flash, but other than 2 tight end leagues and deeper leagues, he may not be the direction you want to go.
All right. I got him ranked similarly. He's my tight end 18. So that wraps it for the Jaguars, unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up.
Nope.
Nope.